So welcome back. If you've seen the first part, you would have seen that we made a pizza, or not a pizza dough, sorry, a pasta dough. So I let it sit for about a half an hour, and now I'm just gonna get ready to cut it up. And one thing you'll notice is it's got a nice color, and I know you can't see it at home, but it's soft. That's what we want. The glutens have worked. So I'm just gonna cut this in half, in quarters actually, and put the other ones to the side. So we'll just leave them here, or in case, I'm gonna probably need a plate. I'll be right back. So we are back now, and we are just going to kind of roll it out a bit, try to force a nice square. And this is a tedious process. What you're looking for is, when you're rolling out, a little bit of flour on your rolling pin if you're doing this by hand. If you got a pasta machine, you're well ahead of the game. But for the rest of us that have just a rolling pin, we're gonna start rolling this out. And you always want to roll from the middle out. The middle out. The middle out. The middle out. And turn it. Or actually flip it while you turn it. Middle out. Middle out. Middle out. Middle out. Don't worry about the shape. The pasta's going to take whatever shape it wants to. What you really want to do is not that. So that can be fixed. Don't worry. We can fix that. But just roll from the medium out. Out. Out, middle out, flip. You don't want this to stick, so you just want a little bit of. And for those of us that are not heavy, put all your weight into it. Again, if you find that the pasta is sticking, just add a little bit of flour. Flip just a little bit and keep flipping. Don't worry about the shape, because it's going to be rustic. You're going to do it by hand, and it's nothing to fret about. And we're just going to keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. When you finish going back and forth, the diameter you're looking for is basically, you're going to put your hand through it, and if you can see your hand, which right now I can't, you're still going to keep going. You got to remember, you want this to be rolled out as evenly, as thin as possible, because when you do boil it, it's going to get thicker. It's going to take on that moisture from the boiling water. So again, just a little bit, just so it doesn't stick to anything, and roll from the middle out, middle out, middle out, middle out. As you can see, we're getting very thin. Like I said, it's a tedious process. I'm sure my Nona is looking at me from heaven and going, what the heck is he doing? But this is my first time, and I've seen it done 1,000 times. I figured I might as well just try it myself. Especially in the kind of crazy times we live. So again, just roll out. And again, don't worry about the shape. You're going to cut it up. It's going to be rustic. So I can tell that just by feeling it, my edges are a little bit thicker. So I'm going to kind of work the edges out a bit. Remember, always going from the middle out. Again, a little bit more flour, not too much. You just don't want anything to stick. And just roll out. Roll out. Like I said, folks, it's tedious, but end result is a wild, wild pasta. I think we're almost there. Don't worry about the lumps. It's gonna be perfect. I think one more roll should do it. As you can see, I can kind of see my hand now, so I'm going to give it one more good middle out, middle out, middle out, middle out, middle out. So now what we're going to do is, I'm pretty happy with the thinness. I can kind of see my hand there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll it up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just gonna go grab a knife. I'll be right back. So we're back. I've rolled out my dough as thin as possible. So again, number one tip when you're rolling, always roll from the middle out, middle out, middle out, flip. Middle out, flip. We want it to get as thin as possible because, like I said earlier, once you put it in the pot, in the water to boil, it's going to take on more water, more moisture, and it's going to get thicker. So the best way, if you just watch the video, you'll see that I can see my hand through it. So it's ready. It's thin as you want it to be. So now I'm just going to, like I said, for those who don't have a pasta maker, all you got to do is roll it up lightly and then just make your slices. If you want fettuccine, if you want something a little bit thinner, maybe tagliatelle, that's a little thicker. But what I'm just going to do is maybe 1/4 inch cuts. They don't need to be perfect. If you find that this is tedious, you can just kind of just cut them in strips with the whole sheet. I'll do that on my next one because I got another 3 pieces left to roll out and cut.
What kind of pasta is he making?
Daddy's making a fettuccine. As you can see, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to unroll it. Like I said, it's going to be rustic. But like I said, it's going to be a much better helps if you got a second hand.
Sorry, I'm a little busy.
I can see. So I've paused the video so you guys didn't have to watch me for 2 minutes unraveling the pasta. That's what it looks like. Now again, it's rustic. You know, if you have a pasta machine, it'll be more uniform, more unique. But at the end of the day, it's pasta. So what I'm going to do now is just grab my little tray here. And it's wax paper, you know, you don't have to put a little bit of flour, but just in case, just grab a little bunch, you know, loosely put it on. You could also freeze this. This will refrigerate for 1 or 2 days in the fridge covered. So the first one of 4 pieces is done, so I will be back when I have the second piece rolled so you can see different ways of cutting it. Now here's my son Elijah.
Hello.